Hey YouTube. Well, I'm here to talk about my favorite show, Greenleaf. Okay, Greenleaf season 3, episode 3. It opens up with May and her daughter Grace and Grace's daughter Sophia are all sitting at the breakfast table, right? May and Grace are not speaking. After Sophia leaves, she has to go wherever she's going. Then those two are left together, and the maid brings in a registered letter. Gives it to May, and May realizes it is divorce papers. Her husband has filed. She threatened to divorce him, or as she said, his black ass. I think last week she said, "I'm going to divorce your black ass." So he follows through with the, okay, you want to divorce me? Here are the papers. I'm filing first. Grace is at the table with her. She asks her what's wrong. And she said, "You think I would tell you after the way you talk to me? If you weren't not family, you would not even be in this house." It still baffles me how come Grace has not left that house. It seems to me that a grown woman should have some desire to be out on her own, particularly with a domineering mother who makes her life miserable. But for some reason, it couldn't be financial. I mean, they all have enough money to live on their own. She chooses to stay in that house. All right, next thing we see, Bishop is pacing around the office asking everyone, "Have you seen my wife? Has May come in yet?" He thinks that she's going to get this thing and she's going to come to him. They're going to have a big blow up and get it resolved, right? But she is not biting. She has taken herself down to her lawyer. Retained a lawyer. Am I getting ahead of myself a little bit? Maybe. Anyway. Apparently, well, we'll get to that. Okay, the next thing we see is Charity tells Bishop about her. She has always, since the very first episode we saw 3 seasons ago, or 2 episodes ago, that she wants to preach. Now, I have made videos about this issue myself. These singers see preaching as an extension of their careers. In other words, the next step in their career is to preach. He doesn't agree with that. He tells her, "You are a singer," which has always been his position on her. She cannot preach. She wants to preach because she's having problems with her music career. And in her mind, she's called to preach. He didn't buy that. So he breaks her little heart. Charity is getting her little heart beat on quite a bit in this episode. Okay. Bishop says you're not called. You can't just choose to be a pastor. You know, that's the whole mystery when people say I was called at 15 or called at 16 or whatever. You know, no one is really clear about exactly what that means. You're called. I mean, can I be called to be a roofer? Or can I be called to be an athlete? They spiritualize everything, of course, and this is supposed to be a special voice that you hear, apparently. All right. Grace and Bishop have a confrontation. Not a confrontation, but Grace asked Bishop what's going on. She was at the table when this letter was delivered. She told the bishop she didn't know what was in the letter, but it set her mother off. Her mother went speeding off after that, after she got the letter, in her, I don't know, Maserati or Jaguar, whichever. I can't place what that car is. I'm not familiar with this style of car. But it looks like I'm either a Maserati or a Jaguar. Anyway, she sped off in it. And then the bishop, we don't see him telling Grace, but it's implied that he tells Grace that he filed his papers, what's going on, right? So we fade to black on that one. Tasha tells Josh. Okay, so Tasha comes into back over across the street at Triumph. Tasha comes in and tells Jacob that they're finding empty envelopes hidden somewhere. Apparently, one of the ushers is stealing from the pot, right? And so Jacob says, "Call a meeting. I want to talk to all the ushers together." Now, the thing is, all of these ushers were already with Triumph and have been there for a number of years. The only new person that they have on the usher board is his daughter. who we already know is the thief. Okay. Lady Mae, she retains her attorney. The attorney, after she tells her that she has to give her $10,000 as a retainer, she'll start on the case. But she tells her or warns her, after you divorce the bishop, your church is going to turn their backs on you. See, this is the thing. Lady Mae has got to consider what would the divorce mean for her. She's going to lose her identity. Being first lady of a church is an identity. People ask you, what do you do? I'm the first lady of the church. Anyway, not only will she lose a husband, family, and all that, but she will also lose the support of her congregation almost automatically. But she has no problem taking that check. Okay, so Mae goes out and she gets drunk. They show her in this jazz club. I don't know who. It's a beautiful singing there going on there. I'm sure the singer is probably they use known singers in these things. Well, I'm not familiar with who she is, but in this blues club with live entertainment, right? Lady Mae goes there. She asks, forget the name of the drink, but some kind of strange martini. Yeah, I don't know what the name of it was. Anyway, she has several of them. And Lady Mae gets drunk. Right? Jabari. Over the phone, Jabari did not want this girl to renege on her commitment for this tour, right? But he's starting to pull away from her now. See, something with this man, Jabari, he ties in his personal relationships with his business relationships. In other words, if he's the producer of the show, then he has a relationship with the singer, the primary singer. So is he a master manipulator, or this is just some kind of kinky thing he's got going? Because when she backs out of the tour, he has to find a replacement for her, right? He finds a replacement for her, a younger, attractive woman, and he begins the relationship, they make it pretty obvious, with the new singer. So it's his new singer and his new lover at the same time. Out with the old singer and the old lover. I guess they're all the same thing to him. They're his proteges. All right, but she can tell he's starting to pull away. She hatches a plan to go out on this tour and visit him, or just show up. But we'll get to that in a moment. All right. Bishop pays Jacob, his son now, a visit over at Triumph. And now, is this the real Triumph? I mean, I know they were trying to build a church across the street from Greenleaf. Did they ever finish that church? You guys answer me in the comments, please. Because Triumph was already a church. They already had other sites. Did he just take over the old Triumph? Or did they go through with the building and they've actually constructed a new church across the street? I think that the new church across the street might have been halted in last season. And he's just taken over the church that Basie used to be the pastor of. I'm not clear on that. I'm sure it's just something I missed. Okay. Of course, the boy, Jacob said, "What? What's wrong with you? What did you do?" And the bishop tells Jacob the story about how he met his wife and how she didn't want to marry him at first, and how he packed his bags and closed his church and quit his jobs and did all this stuff to show her how serious he was. And then because she was planning on going to college, right? And he didn't want her to go. He proposed. She said no. He packed all this stuff up to appear to be, I don't know if he's going to jump off a bridge or he's going to leave town as well. He wanted to prove that without you, I have no life, and all this romantic type backstory, right? So he's telling Jacob that the reason I sent her the divorce papers because I needed to do something dramatic in order to get her attention and get her to be reasonable. She will only react to something, just like when she reacted to when he proposed. He had to do something dramatic. So that's all he was trying to do, is scare her, shake her up. And she instead went out and got herself an attorney. All right, Greenleafs. Okay. Okay, next thing we see, Charity. She shows up at the at Kevin's house to pick the baby up because they have joint custody. The baby's with Kevin, and when she shows up, Kevin is not there. And oh, that's the guy's name. His name is Aaron. Aaron is Kevin's lover. So Aaron is there with the baby. Of course, she takes the baby out of his hands, and she's not very friendly with Aaron at all. And at some point, he says that we wanted to talk to you. I wish you would wait until Kevin got back. We want to talk to you together. And Charity somehow puts two and two together. You're not moving in here, are you? And then he tells her that's the plan. I applied for a job here in town, and they've accepted. Well, he only applied there for a job because he intended to move there. So my hope still is that these people are going to have a serious relationship that goes on into marriage. See, we don't get that. Usually, all the gay relationships, they end up breaking up. Then they don't show us long-term relationships. So I'm hoping that they will. And my guess, I said it last week, I'm going to say it again because I want you guys to remember. My guess is those two are going to get married, Aaron and Kevin. It's legal now. You can have a regular marriage, and they're going to be in a custody battle with Charity, who is a single woman. So we'll see. That's only a guess, but if I want my credit if it does turn out that way. Anyway, so after that, she is upset now. Okay, now Bishop is still moaning and groaning because he thought his wife was going to show up. They would have a showdown about this divorce, right? But she has simply disappeared. Now, from what I can tell, she's only been gone one day. But she's been drinking, and she got a room. She was too drunk to drive, so she got a room in this hotel next to the bar. She calls and tells Sophia that she will not be home tonight. Don't have to worry about her. She's fine. And the bishop wants to talk to her, but when the bishop gets on the phone, she hangs up. So he can't even make his case because she's not having anything to do with him at this point. Okay. Next thing we see is Grace, and I forget her boyfriend's name. All these names is hard, honey. Whatever her boyfriend's name is, the reporter. The reporter offers to look into Rochelle's past. Grace says that she doesn't trust this woman. She thinks she's up to something, and it all started when she got to town between her parents. So the guy, I don't know why I don't remember his name, but her boyfriend offers to have some of his people down at the police station look into her, check into her. Later, he comes back and tells her that this girl, Rochelle, is clean. In other words, she doesn't have a police record. That's not a very high bar. You haven't committed felonies. That doesn't mean you're an angel, honey. Anyway, plus names can be changed and all that. He tells her that she's clean, but the investigator or the police people who he asked to look into this have discovered that there is a list of people who the IRS are going to be looking into. Now, I don't know if this is a mistake in the editing or there's some kind of mistake taking place with this production, or they're introducing a new element with this IRS. Because last week, the IRS had already contacted them by mail and told them they owed $2 million, right? And they came up with the $2 million. A check was written to them by one of their members. But now they're saying, oh, that I heard that they're looking into you. So are they saying that they still, in addition to the $2 million, owe more money? Or was the first request for $2 million, was that a scam? I always thought it was suspicious that the IRS is going to send you a letter with the price tag of $2 million and say just send it in and everything's cool. There was always something strange there. So I don't know if they're talking about the same case or they have different information. But the IRS is going to be investigating the Greenleaf. This was all set up by Rochelle. She was apparently screwing or manipulating some agent, IRS agent. They found out about his ass too, so he's under investigation. But there's this list. There's this list, and Greenleafs are at the top of the list. So they're gonna have to unravel, make this a little smoother and a little clearer to understand. I think I'm a relative intelligence. That just seems jumbled to me. They're not making it clear what's going on here. Did they already just pay him off last week, $2 million, and now the IRS is investigating him anyway or again? I mean, what's that all about? Anyway, Charity, she decides to go on a road trip after she finds out this information that Aaron is moving into Kevin's apartment where the baby was going to be part-time. She gets on a road trip and drives for 6 hours. So I don't know if is he in Memphis? I'm not sure of the cities, but she joins them on the tour, right? When she gets there, she sees that there's a beautiful young woman on stage. It's a beautiful voice. And she can tell that it appears to be his nose is open, smiling. You know how they smiling and grinning and all this kind of stuff. He comes over to her and he is extremely rude to her. There's no love lost with him. He could care less about the feelings of Charity. She says she is ready. She's willing and able to join the tour now. She wants her job back. And she has the baby with her. He said, "You drove here? How'd you get here?" And he said, "No, it is over." And, you know, he breaks her little heart. He's very hard, definite about this. "I didn't know if I wanted to break up with you, but now I do. And we are through." Right? Of course, she tears up. She's been trashed all through this episode. First by a father and by this boy, who we all suspected. I think anybody watching this show suspected. We didn't know what his motives were. Apparently, he just has this thing where he likes to manipulate the women he's working with by their hearts. Okay. Next thing we see is Miss Rochelle. They're showing us the aggressive side, the real Miss Rochelle. She's talking to Tasha in a bar, telling Tasha how she was able to manipulate this case being reopened with the IRS. That does not explain the $2 million, and Tasha, who is really more of a passive woman, Rochelle's a dominant woman. She may act all sweet and sexy, but she is really a conniving, vindictive, very domineering woman. She questions her loyalty. She questions Tasha's loyalty. Because Tasha is, of course, her brother's wife. But Tasha is a couple of grades under this woman here as far as her hostility towards the Greenleafs. I believe she's actually falling for Jacob. And she asked Rochelle, "Aren't you concerned about your soul?" I don't think Rochelle gives a damn about souls. She wants to destroy the Greenleafs because they killed her father. That was the thing. This is all a vendetta. All right. As we come to a close, Jacob, for some reason, through that meeting that they had, has figured out that his daughter is definitely the thief. I guess it's in something in her eyes, because everybody said when they had the meeting with all the ushers, "I am an usher." I understand. Anyway, all the ushers are there, loyal ushers. They've been there since long before he got there. After he gives his little speech about how he appreciates their loyalty and we see what you're doing and all that kind of stuff, it's nothing. He didn't confront anybody about this money. Everyone says in unison, "Amen." He says, "Amen." And they all respond, "Amen," except for his daughter. His daughter has to say, "Amen," after everyone else. And apparently that sealed it for him. He knows it's her. He comes home and confronts her aggressively. She denies it, of course. "Of course I didn't steal money. Oh, are you crazy?" And he begins to destroy this girl's room. He ransacks the room looking for this money. His wife is on the side like, She don't know what to say because he would not be deterred. He can't find the money at first. He goes to her closet and he finds his little box up in the top shelf of her closet, hidden in another box, full of the bills. They don't show us what happens after that, but he just says, "You lied to me." That girl, see, they only showed us her getting $20 out of the plate, right? We figure, well, she's trying to buy this damn phone so she can call him. Apparently, she had been stealing quite a bit of money because there was quite a bit of money in that money he found, plus envelopes had been torn open. She was planning on running away with this boy who beats her up. Can you imagine? God bless you guys who are raising teenagers, honey. Heaven help you. Okay. Lady Mae seems to be walking around in a trance, like she's a Stepford wife or something. Good morning. Oh no, that'll be fine. She goes into the bishop's office in that same state. He starts apologizing and slobbering all over himself in apology about this letter, these papers he had sent to her. To his surprise, she said, "Oh, my lawyer put some notes in the margins. She wants to go through with the divorce." And that's pretty much where they ended, people. Okay, good episode. Tensions are mounting. I don't know what we're going to have to do to jar Lady Mae out of this trance that she's in. Talk to you next week.